My own sister stole my son's life-saving surgery fund with her boyfriend. Why should your brat matter more than our dream trip? They flew first class to Spain laughing while my son fought for his life. My parents backed her. Family shares everything. I just said, "You'll regret this sooner than you think," and left. 48 hours later, my phone exploded with 38 missed calls. Hey everyone. Before we dive in, I have a quick favor to ask. If you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, supports the channel, and ensures you never miss out on amazing videos. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so I've never posted on this sub before, but honestly I just need somewhere to throw this out there, because my brain is melting from what just happened. I don't know if this is petty revenge or family drama or what, but it's real, and I'm seriously losing it over how people you've known your whole life can act like total strangers when money and priorities are on the table. I'm 29, divorced, single dad. My son Nova is 8. And yeah, I'm not perfect, but I've always tried to keep the peace in my family, even when I get the short end. So anyway, the weird thing is this all started with a notification from my bank app last week. Not even anything dramatic, just this little pop-up about a large withdrawal. I almost swiped it away because I get spammy stuff all the time, but then I remembered I was supposed to move the surgery money into a new account this weekend. So I check, and yeah, my stomach just kind of drops. Not like in the movies, just that feeling of, nah, I must be reading this wrong. The account is almost empty, just a few bucks left. I refresh it like 5 times, nothing changes. For context, Nova's had this rare heart thing since he was born. I don't talk about it a ton because it's not his whole life, but yeah, he needs a procedure soon. Not like, if you don't do it, he dies tomorrow, but it's serious, and the sooner, the better. I've been saving every extra cent for the last year and a half. Cutting out all the dumb stuff, skipping weekends out, selling old gear, the whole deal. My parents always did the family shares one account for big stuff thing, mostly to help my sister Lynn when she was at uni, and then when she and her boyfriend Sergio were between places, read mooching at home. I always hated it, but whatever, I went along because it's just how they do things. So I'm sitting there staring at my phone thinking maybe I fat-fingered something or the app glitched. I text my mom, just a quick, "Hey, did you move any money out? I can't find the surgery fund." She replies an hour later, super vague like, "It's fine, don't stress, we'll talk soon." That's not a normal answer for her. I get a weird vibe. Then I check our family group chat and see Lynn posted a photo of her at the airport, holding up a passport and flashing a peace sign. Sergio behind her with his stupid sunglasses. The caption is "Dreams coming true," and people are dropping hearts and "so happy for you" comments. I kind of feel like I'm in the twilight zone. I try to call my dad, no answer. I text Lynn just a "Hey, did you take anything out of the shared account?" She leaves me on read. Nothing from Sergio either. I start scrolling their stories and they're posting from the lounge, showing off champagne, tagging the airline, all that. First class. Like literally first class. I'm not anti-travel, but come on. We're not rolling in cash. I know exactly how much is in that account because I put most of it there myself. So now I'm getting mad. And not gonna lie, I'm not even thinking straight. I call my mom again. She finally picks up, acting all tired like I'm bothering her. I ask straight up, "Did Lynn take the surgery money?" She goes, "It's not just your money, Case. It's your family's money." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Nova needs that for his surgery in less than a month." She sighs, says Lynn's been through a lot. Her and Sergio have never had a real trip together. She deserves to enjoy her life too. I just sit there silent, beat. I actually can't believe she's saying this with a straight face. I tell her, "This isn't okay." And she pulls the family shares everything line. You know that line. I've heard this since I was a kid. Whenever Lynn needed something and I got told to suck it up, I say, "This isn't the same. This is for Nova. Not for me. Not for some vacation." She starts getting defensive. Says, "We'll figure something out. Don't make a scene. Your sister's happiness matters too." I hang up. I can feel my hands shaking, not because I'm scared, just because I'm so mad. Like they really just pulled this. I spend the next few hours texting, calling, trying to get Lynn to answer. Nothing. She posts a selfie from the plane captioned "Flying in Style" with a little Spanish flag emoji. Sergio's got his feet up, grinning. I'm seeing red, but not in a movie way. Just that slow burn where you know you're about to lose it. So I drive over to my parents' house. They're both there watching TV like it's a normal night. I ask them to their faces, "Did you let Lynn take Nova's surgery fund for her trip?" My dad shrugs, says, "Lynn's been wanting this for years. She deserves it. Nova's strong. We'll get the money back." I laugh, because what else can you do? My mom says, "Don't be dramatic. You're acting like we stole from you." I tell her, this is exactly what it is. She stands up, gets in my face, says, "You've always had a chip on your shoulder. You act like you're the only one with problems." I raise my voice for the first time in years and say, "If Nova's surgery gets pushed because of this, I'll never forgive you." She actually rolls her eyes and tells me to grow up. Lynn FaceTimes in from Spain, waving her drink, acting all sweet like nothing happened. She says, "Why should your brat matter more than our dream trip?" I almost throw my phone. Sergio's in the background laughing. My mom and dad do nothing. I tell them, "You'll regret this sooner than you think." My mom tries to grab my arm. I pull away. My dad stands up like he's going to say something but just sits back down. Lynn hangs up, says she's busy. I slam the door on my way out. My mom yells after me, "Don't come back until you've calmed down." I don't even look back. So yeah, I'm done. I'm not the family piggy bank anymore. They want to play favorites? Fine. I'm about to show them what happens when you push me too far. I've already started moving all the stuff I control out of our shared orbit. But that's just step one. They made this about money and priorities, so I'm about to make it real uncomfortable for them every way I can. And I don't care if they call me dramatic or selfish for once. Next part's probably going to get wild, but honestly, after tonight, I'm not holding back. If you've ever had your own family just decide you don't matter, yeah, I see you. This time, I'm fighting back. Update 1. So yeah, after the whole showdown at my parents' place, I left, slammed the door, and didn't look back. I didn't even go straight home. Just drove around for a bit, trying to wrap my head around how my own family could literally sit there and say Nova's surgery money didn't matter as much as Lynn's one chance at a vacation. I know it sounds wild typed out, but that's actually how it went down. Anyway, I kept expecting someone to call me back or rethink things, but nope. Just total silence from all of them. The group chat stayed dead, except for some dumb meme posted about dog hair or something. Not a word about the money. Next morning, Nova's asking for pancakes, and I'm just standing there staring at the pan like, what even is my life right now? I get a notification from my phone. It's a new post from Lynn's Insta. Her and Sergio in front of some old building in Madrid, drinking orange juice, both looking like they just won the lottery. She tagged our mom in it. I checked the comments. All her friends are so jealous, and Yas says, girl, you earned this. And my parents both left heart emojis. I almost laugh, not even pretending to hide what they did. I showed Nova the picture, and he just looked at it, shrugged, and said, that's your sister, right? I said, yeah, that's her. He went back to his pancakes. He's too young to really get it, but one day he'll know. So I start thinking, okay, if they want to be like this, I'm not just going to sit here and take it. I start making a list of every single thing I pay for that connects back to them. Family phone plan, my name, joint streaming accounts, me. The car insurance my mom forgot to switch over, still me. Even the Wi-Fi at my parents' house is under my login. And don't even get me started on the group Spotify. But not gonna lie, just cutting that stuff off would be petty and honestly doesn't even come close to what they did. I wanted to actually make them feel it. Really feel it. I started with the stuff that would hit hardest and fastest. I logged into the family bank account, pulled out what little was left, less than $50 tabaha, and closed it. I set up my own new account for Nova and me only. Then I went into the group chat, posted a message I'm done paying for everyone else's stuff. If you want something, get your own. I didn't ask or explain, just told them flat out. My mom replied with a thumbs down. Lynn left me on red. Dad didn't even respond. Classic. Then I started texting extended family, just people I actually talked to, like my cousin Esther and my aunt Melissa. I didn't even tell them the whole story, just said Nova's surgery fund was gone because Lynn needed a vacation and my parents were fine with it. I didn't ask for money, just wanted people to know. Esther replied, wait, what? Are you serious? And then called me. She said she'd noticed my mom acting weird lately, asking for help with bills, but didn't know what was going on. I told her just the basics and she said, that's messed up. I'll check on you guys soon. Other people started hearing too. And I could tell from the way my mom's regular family dinners got really small. No one wanted to get in the middle, but word spreads. Lynn kept posting pics every day. Her at the beach, her eating churros, her and Sergio at some random market. I muted her stories, but people sent me screenshots anyway. Every time I saw her face, I felt this mix of anger and honestly just disgust. She never even tried to explain, just acted like nothing happened, never even texted me, didn't say a word. I know she's always been the golden child, but this was new. She really thinks she's untouchable. And Sergio, Lamau. That guy is just along for the ride. He's always been a leech. I think my parents just like him because he's loud and funny and makes them feel cool. So now I'm sitting here watching my parents try to make plans for the next family barbecue and realizing they're expecting me to just show up and act normal. Nope. I told them straight up I'm not coming to anything until they make it right. My mom called me dramatic, said I was embarrassing her. My dad texted me, don't make this harder than it needs to be. I texted back, easy, just pay back what you stole. No answer. Over the next couple days, pretty much everything started unraveling for them. My dad called, all annoyed, saying the Wi-Fi was down and his phone plan was messed up. I said, not my problem. Figure it out. My mom texted me asking for my Netflix login. I just sent her the shrug emoji. Lynn called once, just once, then hung up without saying anything, probably hoping I'd cave. Instead, I went over to their house to pick up some of my old stuff. My dad tried to block the door, said, you're not welcome here if you're going to act like this. I pushed past him, grabbed my boxes, and left. My mom followed me out, yelling that I was tearing the family apart. I said, you did that yourself. She slapped my arm, just hard enough to make a point, then turned around and slammed the door. I guess I always knew Lynn was my parents' favorite, but I never thought they'd actually pick her over Nova. I get that she's the dreamer and I'm the responsible, but this was next level. And if you're wondering why she's like this, it's because my parents always bailed her out. Every time she messed up, they'd cover for her, pay her bills, tell her she deserved better. I was always told to wait, to be patient, to support your sister. So she grew up thinking she could do whatever, and it would always work out, and now she's just doing it on a bigger scale. Anyway, I started getting messages from people I hadn't talked to in forever. Friends of Lynn, even one of Sergio's cousins asking what was going on. I just told them the truth. I didn't want anyone's sympathy, but I wanted people to know. I even posted a story on Insta. Nothing dramatic, just a picture of Nova's hospital paperwork with a caption like, "Guess we're on our own now." I didn't tag anyone, but it got the point across. Suddenly, Lynn's friends stopped commenting on her posts, at least the ones I know, and Sergio's cousin messaged me. "Dude, that's cold. I'm sorry." So 2 days after the blow-up, my phone legit explodes with notifications. I wake up to 38 missed calls, mostly from my parents and Lynn, a couple from Sergio. I check my texts. My mom sent like 7 in a row, all variations of "call me back" and "we need to talk urgently." Lynn called, left a voice message where she's half crying, half yelling, saying I'm ruining her trip and embarrassing her online. My dad just says, "Enough is enough. You're making this worse." I ignore all of them. Instead, I start making some real moves. I talk to my cousin Esther again, tell her I'm not letting this go. And she says, honestly, it's about time someone stood up to them. She offers to help if she can, but I tell her I got this. I'm not looking for backup. I just want them to know I'm done being the doormat. I start writing down everything I've paid for in the last 5 years. Every bill, every emergency loan, every time I covered someone's phone or groceries or whatever. The list is long. I print it all out, snap pics, and send them to the family group chat. I add, if family shares everything, maybe it's time you all start pulling your weight. No reply for a while. Then Lynn texts me privately, says she can't believe I'm doing this, that I'm making her look bad. I text back, "You did that yourself." She blocks me. The next few hours are a mess of calls, texts. Even my Aunt Melissa tries to play peacemaker, but I'm not budging. I'm not going to let them sweep this under the rug like every other time. I tell Nova we're going to figure something out, and for once, I actually believe it. Maybe this is what needed to happen. I'm not looking for forgiveness. I'm looking for payback. So yeah, it's just starting. And T-Ba, seeing them scramble now, I know they're finally feeling even a little bit of what they put me through. I'm just getting started. Next up, I'm going to make them feel it where it really hurts. And I don't care if it takes a week or a month. I'm not stopping till they actually get it. I'll update when things get even messier. BC, I know they will. If you've ever had to go nuclear on your own family, FR, I feel you. Sometimes you have to break stuff before you can build anything real. Update 2. So yeah, if you read my last posts, you know exactly how wild this has gotten. But honestly, it just kept escalating in ways I didn't expect. Like after all the calls and texts, NGL, 38 missed calls in one night is a new record for me. I figured they'd finally just admit they messed up. Pay me back something. Instead, it just got messier fast. The first weird thing was my mom suddenly going silent after blowing up my phone all morning. Like she usually can't go 2 hours without sending me a meme or some reminder about a family thing. But now, nothing, which was sus. So I checked the family group chat and saw it was blowing up with side messages between my dad and a couple aunts, all dancing around the topic like, some people need to learn respect, and not everyone in this family cares about appearances. It was all passive-aggressive, classic my family, T-Ba. No one actually says what they mean, just weird indirect jabs. Lynn kept posting her trip pics for a while, but then the comments started drying up, and I started getting random texts from people I barely talked to like, "Is everything okay with your folks?" And heard there was drama, hope Nova's all right. I didn't even have to say much, people just put 2 and 2 together. Word travels. Esther, my cousin, texted me, "Dude, your mom's freaking out about the family group chat. She's blaming you for ruining the vibe." I said, maybe she should have thought of that before taking my son's surgery money. Esther sent me a laughing emoji, then said, "You know she'll never admit it was wrong." Right. Honestly, I already knew. Then things started breaking down on their end. I got a call from my dad, all annoyed, asking what happened to the streaming accounts and why their Wi-Fi bill was suddenly overdue. I just said, not my problem. I'm not paying for everyone anymore. He hung up. Later, my mom showed up at my door with her arms crossed, asked if I could just talk for a minute. I let her in. But the second she sat down, she started with the guilt. How I was making Lynn feel bad, how family doesn't air dirty laundry, how I'm hurting everyone by making a scene. I told her, "You picked Lynn over Nova. I'm done playing along." She stood up, tried to grab my phone. I pulled it back, she slapped the table, and stormed out. I didn't chase her. Sergio started texting me too, but all his messages were weird flexes like, "You'll never get people on your side. Lynn's the only one who ever mattered." All that, I just left him on read. 2 days into their Spain trip, I started getting notifications from my banking app that someone was trying to log in with my info. Not a coincidence. Probably Sergio or Lynn trying to see if I'd moved the rest of my money. I changed all my passwords and set alerts for everything. Then, out of nowhere, I get a message from Lynn. Not to apologize, but to ask if I could just send over some cash because their card is getting declined. I almost choked on my coffee. I texted back, "Ask mom and dad." She just replied, "Whatever, you're such a jerk." Next day, she posts a story about how some people just can't stand to see you happy. I didn't even reply. I know she's just trying to save face, but it's hilarious watching her try. My parents called a family meeting, lol, at their house, said it was urgent. I show up, Nova with me because I didn't have anyone to watch him, and they're both there, plus Lynn on video call from some dingy-looking hotel room. Her hair is a mess. Sergio's pacing in the background. My mom tries to act like everything's normal, starts with let's talk this out like adults. I say, nothing to talk about, pay back Nova's surgery fund or I walk. Lynn starts yelling, her voice cracking, saying I'm ruining her life and making her look like a bad person. My dad says you're being stubborn. This could have all been avoided if you just kept your mouth shut. I laugh because that's exactly the attitude that got us here. Sergio steps into the frame, says, Lynn deserves better than this family anyway. I lose it. I say, nah, she deserves exactly what she gets. My mom stands up, gets in my face, says, you're acting like a child. Nova doesn't need the surgery right away. You're using him to manipulate us. I say, you're the ones who used him when you took his money. She tries to push me out the door. I stand my ground. Lynn's crying on screen. Dad's just sitting there looking tired. I leave, Nova in tow, slam the door behind me. Outside, Nova asks if we're still going to Grandma's for his birthday. I say, not this year. He just nods. Honestly, he's handling this way better than I am. Over the next week, everything starts catching up with them. My dad texts me again, now more desperate, asking if I can just pay the bill this month, and he'll pay me back. I say, not happening. My mom calls, says she's sorry for how things went down, but won't actually say what she's sorry for. She keeps talking in circles, trying to get me to admit I overreacted. I don't give her an inch. I start noticing the family group chat is basically dead. No one's posting. Aunts and uncles are barely responding to my parents. Lynn's posts get like 2 likes each, all from her college friends who don't know the real story. Sergio sends me a long message basically blaming me for their money problems and saying I ruined their trip. He says, you're just jealous. You've always been second place. I don't even bother replying. Then Lynn calls one night crying, says their credit cards are maxed out. They can't get a flight home, and mom and dad don't have it right now. I say, maybe you should have thought of that before stealing from your nephew. She hangs up. I keep hearing little things from cousins and people at church. My family's kind of become the drama everyone avoids. Nobody wants to invite my parents to stuff. Lynn's old friends aren't reaching out. Even Sergio's crew is keeping their distance. It's not some big public shaming, just real-life consequences. People quietly backing off. I know my parents are feeling it too. My mom tried to guilt-trip Esther into coming over for dinner. Esther said she was busy with work. I overheard my dad complaining to my uncle about ingrates in this family. So yeah, I guess this is what happens when you finally push back after being the family ATM forever. I'm not saying it feels good. NGL, it mostly feels awkward and exhausting, but at least they're not getting away with it scot-free. For the first time, they're actually seeing what it's like to lose the support they always took for granted. Then last night, my mom shows up at my place again. This time actually crying. Says they need help. She can't pay the rent. Asks if I can just loan her a few hundred. I say, you pay back what you took from Nova first. She gets mad, pushes past me into the kitchen, starts ranting about how I'm heartless, how Lynn never would have done this to family. I just stand there, let her yell. Nova comes in, sees us, just goes back to his room. My mom tries to guilt me one more time, says, you're going to regret this when you need family. I tell her, you already made sure I don't have one. She slaps my arm, mutters something about how I'm just like my dad's side of the family, then leaves, slamming the door so hard it shakes the wall. So now it's just me and Nova figuring it out. I'm not gonna lie, it still sucks seeing everyone pretend like I'm the bad guy. But at least I know I stood up for him and myself for once. And honestly, the fact that Lynn and Sergio are stuck in Spain, broke and miserable, kind of feels like karma in real time. The next step? I'm not done. I know my parents are going to try to get back in, and I know Lynn's going to come crawling when she's desperate enough. I'm already working on something that'll make it impossible for them to ever pull this again. I'll post an update when it all goes down, but trust me, I'm not letting up until every last one of them knows exactly what it feels like to get used and tossed aside. If you made it this far, thanks for reading. Sometimes you gotta scorch the earth before anything new can, and I'm just getting started. Final update. So I thought I'd seen peak family drama, but nah. Turns out I was only halfway up the hill. It's wild how people will keep doubling down even after you catch them in the act. Like, it's not even about the money to them anymore. It's about not losing. Seriously, if you ever want to know who someone really is, watch what they do when they're cornered and broke. The first hint something was coming was a Venmo request from Sergio for $50. No joke, just the note, for food. Like I'd ever send him a dime after what he pulled. I didn't even reply. Then a couple hours later, Lynn DM'd me. Not to say sorry, just to ask if I could help her out just one last time, because Spain is way more expensive than we thought, and mom and dad can't send anything right now. I left her on read just like she did to me. Felt right. Then the group chat popped off again, except now my mom was posting actual paragraphs like she finally realized nobody was on her side. She started off all sweet, then switched to accusing me of turning the family against her. Honestly, I just ignored it. Esther sent me a screenshot of my mom's rant captioned, "So much for family loyalty." I just replied, "They started it." Esther said, "You're not wrong, but this is ugly." She's right, but I'm not the one who made it ugly. So I got to work. I already had receipts, years of bills, transfers, all the times I bailed everyone out. I put together a doc with every cent I'd paid for family stuff since I was like 20. I sent it to the aunts and uncles, cousins, even a couple of my parents' close friends who always acted like Lynn was a saint. I didn't add drama, just straight numbers. I said, if you want to know why I'm done, here's the math. A few of them replied, wow, I had no idea. Juan actually called my mom and told her to stop asking for money until she paid me back. Then I went a step further. I texted my parents and Lynn with a simple deal. Pay back the surgery fund and apologize, or I go public with everything. Not like posted on Facebook, but I'd tell every single person who ever got dragged into a family help chain, every friend who ever covered for them, every neighbor who ever chipped in for a birthday or rent. My mom called it blackmail. I said, call it whatever you want, but I'm done being the backup plan. They tried to guilt me again. All the usual lines. You're ruining the family. You're making this about money. You don't care about anyone but yourself. I didn't even argue. I just kept saying, pay back the money or I'm done. Lynn tried to flip it, said Nova wouldn't even remember all this when he's older, that I was making it worse by dragging it out. I told her, you made your choices. Now live with them. The next couple days were messy. My parents called every mutual friend they could, trying to get someone to talk sense into me. A few people called and asked what was going on. I told them the truth. No drama, just facts. Most people said, I hope you guys work it out, but nobody tried to force me to forgive. Even my uncle, who always said, family's everything, texted me, said he was staying out of it, but he understood. Meanwhile, Lynn and Sergio got back from Spain and went straight to my parents. I heard from Esther that they were fighting almost every night, blaming each other for how it all went down. Apparently Sergio was mad because he thought my parents would bail them out again, and Lynn was mad because I wouldn't. My mom kept texting, asking if Nova would come over for Sunday dinner. I said, not until they pay him back. She said I was being cruel. I told her, call it whatever you want. They finally tried a new angle. Lynn texted me one night, said she had a plan to pay me back if I could help her get a side gig. I laughed out loud. I said, you're on your own now. She called me a jerk and hung up. Next day my dad called, tried to play tough, said if I didn't drop it, I'd never be welcome in the family again. I told him, you made that decision for me already. Then the real blow. I started reaching out to people they'd leaned on over the years, people who'd lent them money, covered bills, let them stay over, all that. I didn't trash talk, just shared my story and asked if they'd ever gotten paid back. Most said no. I suggested maybe stop helping until things are made right. A few old friends of my parents cut them off. One even messaged me, thanks for giving me the heads up. I had no idea. Word got around. The well dried up. Sergio tried to get help from his side of the family, but apparently they were done too. Turns out he's pulled this with other people before, always promising payback next month. Lynn tried to guilt trip me again. Sent a long wall of text about how she was struggling and didn't know how to start over after everything. I didn't answer. I blocked her on everything except text. Then my mom showed up at my door, didn't even knock, just barged in and started yelling. I told her to leave. She slapped my shoulder and said I'd regret this forever. I said, you've said that before, and you're still here. She slammed the door and left. I kept it moving. I started looking at new ways to get Nova's surgery paid. Asked around, called in a couple favors from people who actually showed up when it mattered. No family money, just a few friends and some help from a local group. It wasn't easy, but I scraped together enough to get the ball rolling. Nova's got a surgery date now. I didn't invite anyone from my family. My parents are basically persona non grata with all the people they used to rely on. Lynn moved in with Sergio's friend out of town, and I haven't heard from her in weeks. My mom still calls once in a while, leaves these guilt trip voicemails, but I just delete them. Dad doesn't call at all. Sometimes I see them at the grocery store, and we don't even say hi. So yeah, this is where it landed. No big movie ending, just a quiet split. I'm not happier, but I'm not stuck cleaning up after everyone else anymore. Nova's taken it all in stride. He asks sometimes why Grandma doesn't come around, but I just tell him we're doing our own thing now. Maybe that's enough. If you're reading this waiting for the key and then they all apologize chapter, sorry, that's not real life. There's no forgiveness here, just space. I don't have any big lesson to share except maybe this. If your family treats you like you're disposable, you owe them nothing. Not your money, not your time, not even a phone call. Some bridges need to burn. Thanks for following along. I'm not sure what comes next, but I know it won't involve them.